Oh, wow. So I just had a conversation with someone. It was a political conversation, which I should have known better in these days and times to have a political conversation. But as things go, it went rather well. But there were a few points in it that I found very concerning about myself and also within the person that I was talking to. And there's a little note in, the same book that I was talking about the other day, Letters by a Modern Mystic, where he kind of touches upon what I'm interested in kind of re-educating myself or changing some of my own regular habits about what I believe and what I know and what I think I know. And really coming to a place where I know what I know. I think a lot of us don't know what we know, meaning that we have a belief system, we have an idea, we have an opinion. But in this day and age of Twitter-sized debates, our knowledge goes, a sentence or two deep, and people have no problem in this day and time making up the difference, literally making up the difference. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. It is not the fashion to tell your innermost thoughts, but there are many wrong fashions, and concealment of the best in us is wrong. I disapprove of the usual practice of talking small talk, he says, whenever we meet, and holding a veil over our own souls. If we are so impoverished that we have nothing to reveal but small talk, then we need to struggle for more richness of the soul. You see what he's saying there is so much of our time talking with others and socializing is just distraction idiocy, really. Nonsensical things, flippant things. And the part that was concerning me in this conversation, because our conversation, even though it was political, was talking about some very important things, fundamental rights of people and how to nurture people and nurture a society. And I found that when we got into some of the conversation that both of us had very strong opinions about what we believed or what we wanted to be true. But when it actually came down to supporting our argument in a meaningful way, like knowing statistics or knowing what's actually going on and being able to provide evidence for that, I found myself grossly lacking. And it concerned me that I had not been aware enough or conscious enough to have educated myself in these things that I hold as deep beliefs or deep ideals within myself. And I think that this is a lot of the problem, is that we spend a lot of our time, a lot of our lives in this flippant, shallow area of light entertainment, being more concerned that we're entertaining at a conversation, really, than informed. And it's not just the conversation today that makes me think that. I have these conversations periodically with a variety of people. And I have to say, it's definitely the minority of people who actually know what they're talking about. But that doesn't mean that they hold lighter opinions about it. They hold the same strong opinion, but without any underpinning knowledge or any root for that plant to be sustained. And I think for us to grow into a healthy society, a healthy individual, you have to know what you think and why you think it. And that it's not okay for us to settle for small talk and to veil the depth and richness of our souls, as our writer said, but that we have a responsibility as human beings to be deep, to be well established, to be well informed, because that will definitely dictate how we're able to relate to each other and how we can come together as co-learners in things. We've got a world full of teachers now with nobody learning. All of us driving our point home and nobody willing to be able to sit down and say, well, maybe I'm wrong and maybe we're both wrong. Maybe together we can take a step forward. Sri Ramakrishna says that as long as I live, so long am I a student. And I think that that's a wonderful ideal to hold on to. Always be a student. Always be willing to learn. And those things that you think you know, at least go through the bother of learning why you think you know them, and being able to reference sources and supports for why you think you know them. But at the end of the day, remain a student.